Hey, I'm out here in Africa. I have this friend named Boyd who's from a family that's run a safari lodge for a long time.
Africa. An ancient land.
It's called Londolozi. It's right near Kruger National Park in South Africa. Londolozi really got put on the map when Boyd's uncle named John made some films, one of them called Silent Hunter. Early on, they had a land guru who helped them take a regenerative approach to building back like the ecosystem, and things came back. The leopards came back, and that ended up being one of the reasons why Londolozi became so well known. We got to see so many animals on this trip. Now, Boyd's written a book called The Lion Tracker's Guide to Life, which is hands down one of my favorite little books I've ever read. I've been reading it with my son. It's really super well written. And the whole idea is, if you think about it, tracking wilderness, wildlife in nature is a lot like tracking your own life.
So instead of being like down here, track for track, try and get your head up and see that pathway. But what's going to happen is over time, as we go, at first it's like, what the hell are you guys talking about? But then your eye will start to attune to specific things, this compressed mud, little toe marks, little the sort of the different texture and color of the grass, and that's kind of, you know, what we want to happen. We want your eye to start seeing something that it didn't know to see before, and that's when the tracking will really get going. Like in life. Think about it. No. Tracking can be really like life. No.
We spent a lot of time out in nature, driving in a Land Rover that was like open top. You could just view animals right off the edge of the truck. Holy shit. But we also got down on foot and got to track with this man named Rainius, who was raised out here in the bush. He and his brother were so hungry growing up in their indigenous town that they would track lions and try to steal some of their kill. There's a lot of ways to live life, you guys. Rainius is one of the world's best trackers, apparently. He travels all over the world talking about tracking and raising funds for conservation out here in the wilderness. And the first thing he did when we started tracking with him is he went off to find a stick. Now, this stick became important because as we were walking on foot through the land, trying to find the path of different animals, going through this high grass, right? You can kind of see a pathway. Sometimes it would break. Sometimes it would, like, you'd be relying just on footprints. Each of us got a chance after a little bit of training to do some tracking with, and we held the stick. We got to, you know, he's like, Rainius' stick kind of made you powerful. One thing that was super interesting to me out here is you are relying on so many other animals. The sound of a squirrel alerting is like, stop the Jeep. There's something over there. There's something going on. You could roll up on some impala and they're all tuned in on something over there. It's like, what are those impala looking at? This is a full sensory nervous system experience out here. Your ears, your eyes, your nose, your feet, you know what I'm talking about. And when you're on the track, it's like a puzzle. You get so deeply immersed in it. And your reward at the end is real life time with a wild fucking animal. Ooh, she big. Ooh, she big. Ooh, she big.
Station's just an update.
Does he look like he's, his belly's well fed, or does he look like he's eaten recently?
Yeah, it does look like he might have eaten something fairly You know what's interesting is trying to put together what they were up to last night.
And that's something I've been tracking for a long time, just wilderness, wildness, naturalness. I feel like society is this boxed in, right angles, be productive. All the ideas of our civilization seem invented. And I'm looking for the roots, like why? Why is it like this? So being out here with wild animals in an ecosystem that's entirely wild, that is not designed by any man anywhere, though there has been a lot of regenerative practices going on out here that brought back the grasslands, which fertilized the soil, which brought in the grazers, which eventually got to, leopards and lions and tigers and bears, oh my. But this wildness, it's something I seek in my own life. It's something that I feel we're so disconnected from, and it's essential for us to find our roots if we're going to find our future, and our roots are in the wilderness. And yeah, let's be better than our savage nature, but also let's find that vitality. And today's
Yeah.
Oh, that was cool.
Man, it was such a rad trip. I was so struck by the power of the presence of nature, and how you just remember, like it's just where you're from. I was on the trip with Greg, who helps his wife run a brand called House of Shan, and Cal, who makes this awesome Unlearn gear. He also runs the Great Unlearn podcast. Shout out to my boys. Obviously, check out Boyd's book, The Lion Tracker's Guide to Life. Okay, a few tips for you safari folks, if you're gonna go on a safari, okay? We did 4 nights while we were out there. And honestly, that felt like a perfect amount of nights. I thought we'd be like, let's do more. It was perfect. Then we went to Cape Town. Cape Town was super rad. Then drop your expectations. Enough with this like big 5, like, I really want to see this. It's just like more like, this is what I expect and demand. Drop your expectations. Get out there and get into the ceremony of nature. Actually, Boyd has another book called the Cathedral of the Wild. Get into the Cathedral of the Wild. Truly, drop your expectations and be with what's happening. It's like that footage of that elephant at the end. That was probably one of the more impactful moments for me. Just the presence of that elephant. Baby girl, I'm recording. You just want to give me a kiss? Thank you.
You're the best dad ever.
Drop your expectations and just get with it. That elephant there was a point in the filming of it where I was actually like off focus, off frame on the thing, because I was trying to get out of my camera and just connect with this sucker. These things there's something sacred about this. Maybe I'm compromised. Maybe that you just don't feel the same way. Read like The Overstory or Braiding Sweetgrass or The Lion Tracker's Guide to Life. That'll help with that. So drop your expectations, get out there and enjoy it and absorb it how it comes to you, right? And then finally, you want to create an experience, like the vibe with your guide is like, we're up for anything. Like, we're stoked to be here. We're up for anything. These guides and rangers, they do this for a living. They know all about what's up out there. We were very comfortable getting down onto the ground. I'm sure some of you, as you're watching that footage, are like, is that safe? When I talk to my parents about it, they're like, is that safe? And yeah, there's a little danger involved for sure. That's part of the stakes, kind of make it more like help. That's high consequence, high stakes are required for deep flow state type experiences, according to the research, and you are just fully in that flow state oftentimes out there. So create that experience with your guide where it's like, we're up for anything. Like, show us, like, what do you feel like doing? We liked getting off of the vehicle and out into the nature. I can't recommend Londolozi enough, by the way. There's a lot of places you can go. I think it's probably pretty expensive. We're with the sire of the lodge, so we get a little discount. Okay, now travel gear that I used for my daily carry bag. I was bringing my camera, Canon. I just brought my EOS R 24-105 lens and this. I didn't even have ND filters or anything. That all put inside of my Wander Duo. This is just such a radical bag for a simple minimal camera kit. So I lived out of that. These little Rove glasses, look, they fold up into a tiny little thing. I actually didn't bring glasses. I forgot to bring glasses, and these were just in my bag. They're a little bit like Burning Man, you know, they're a little like steampunk weirdness, but the lenses are actually really great, and when I needed them, they were really helpful, and the reason why I had them is they were just in my bag. Links to these things and the next few things below, by the way. Those links support the channel. This is like the Home Shopping Network part of the video. My Lems Boots, I wore those suckers out on the trail and they did so well. I love these shoes. You've heard me rant and rave about them before. They're a little bit big to travel with. You got to wear them when you're traveling, basically, and they're not like my favorite city shoe, so I was like conflicted. But when I was out on those trails, I was really glad I had them. The travel backpack from Pact was in full effect. In fact, both the other guys on the trip were using that as their like big on the plane bag. It's just such a great bag. We're going to have new stock on that soon. Link to that below. That's the bag that I helped design with the Pact team. This stuff, Feel Free from Botanic Tonics. We love this stuff. It's kava and kratom in a little shot. You get good energy, get good focus. It's awesome. And in fact, the South African team was like, can you bring as much as you can fit out? So I normally don't travel with a check-in bag. I did this time, and I traveled with Nomadic's check-in bag, and this is actually super well made. Check out Nomadic's roller luggage. They have all sorts of great bags, and I was absolutely stoked on this. My only bummer is it has an extension, like it expands, but it expands on just this smaller compartment. I wish the main compartment expanded. But in terms of quality and rucking this thing around felt really good, actually. And then you saw in the video I had a thin hooded long sleeve sun shirt. These are essential out in nature stuff. You should get one that's thin. The one that I had was thicker. It was a gift, and it's like has some sentimental value to me, but I'm gonna go buy another one. I think the one that I'm gonna try next is from Free Fly. I'll link to them below. They have some very thin, they make great stuff out of bamboo, really soft, nice materials. But that sun shirt, long sleeve with the hood, and then you put your hat up, you know, it just covers you. You don't have to have one of those wide brimmed hats. This is one of those pro tricks. You get a little tip for free there. Okay, that's it. Safari was absolutely incredible. This is a landscape, an entire ecosystem of diverse species who find a way to live together, and everybody's kind of eating each other. I'm telling you though, it was like medicinal. It was like medicinal. It was like a medicine journey. Holla at your boy. Subscribe. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Bye. Thanks for watching.